What's up everyone, William H here. Thank you for clicking on my video, and today I wanted to share with you guys 3 tips to help you guys out during peak season. As some of you may already know, peak season is the time of the year where delivery drivers are really worked, guys. And if you're new to this delivery driver position, be ready for a rude awakening, right? And I'm here to help you guys out. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I first started this job, I wish somebody would have told me these 3 things that I'm about to share with you guys. But before I get into the video, guys, don't forget to subscribe, and like my video. And let's get into the video, right? So, you wanna know how to last longer in bed? Well, you came to the right video, guys. So what you want to do is, I'm just playing with you guys. Anyways, now for those of you who just recently got on board with the delivery driver position, you might want to hear this, okay? Because these are 3 good tips that I personally use on a day-to-day basis. I thought it'd be valuable for me to share with you guys this information, and comment down below, tell me some tips that you guys use. And let's begin. So, the first tip that I wanted to share with you guys is to listen to something when you're on the job, okay? Now, understand something, that when peak season happens, right, you are gonna get worked. And when you get worked, you are gonna have these long hours, right? I remember the first time that I got introduced to peak season. Guys, it was it was a rude awakening. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm a little on the fast side, but it still took me a long time to finish my routes in peak season, okay? So one of the things that I've noticed that helps me make time fly a little bit faster is when I'm listening to podcasts or I'm listening to a book, okay? Now, personally, music to me gets boring really fast, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with listening to music, but once you hear it over and over and over again, it just gets old, right? So what I do now is I listen to podcasts, I listen to books, right? I like to educate myself when I'm on the job. And let's say you're into scary stories, let's say you're into comedy, let's say you're into, UFOs, conspiracy theories, all of that good stuff. I'm pretty sure you're able to find that in any source of podcast platforms, right? So I personally use Spotify. And I've made a video in the past, the top 5 podcasts that I listen to, right? You go ahead and check that out. And, I've noticed that when I'm working and when I'm listening to something, I notice that time flies a little bit faster. Now, you don't necessarily have to listen to it with your headphones on, right? You can start off with the one, and you can start off, by connecting it to your van, to the Amazon vans, okay? Now, if you're brand new, right, you just started last week or 2 weeks ago, I recommend you get the job done right, okay? What do I mean by that is that if you're not used to, scanning and then looking for the correct house, I'd like to think that I'm a seasoned worker, and I already know what I have to do. I know I have to look for the address, make sure it's the correct address, take the picture, and I'm on to the next. And while I'm doing that, right, I'm listening to something, and when I realize it, guys, freaking 3 hours passed by already. 4 hours passed by already. When I'm realizing it, I only got 30 stops left, right? I have this little code that I live by, and that's to learn at least one new thing every single day, right? I'm all about improving myself, and I highly recommend you guys do the same, right? I highly recommend you guys listen to something to make those long hours short, right? And like I said, guys, always be safe when you're on the road. Don't zone out, because it's really easy to zone out. Be safe out there when you're doing this tip, okay? And when you realize it, you're already towards the end of your route. And that's my first tip to help you guys out for the peak season. For the second tip that I wanted to share with you guys is to eat good quality foods, okay? Now, if you've been watching my videos lately, I'm all about eating good quality foods, right? I meal prep, guys, for my upcoming work week. That way I don't have to focus on where I'm gonna eat or if I'm gonna eat my food hot or cold, right? Because I already know all that, right? By me meal prepping, it helps me out, save time, right? Especially during peak season. You want to be making as much stops as you can per hour, okay? So I meal prep to have good quality energy throughout my day, okay? We're already probably experiencing a little bit of peak season, right? I've noticed this past week that I worked, we've been getting a little bit more than average stops and packages as well. I've been getting like 280, 290, 300 plus packages. And I'm like, damn, if it's not even peak season, but it's close to it, I can only imagine when peak season happens, right? And I'm gonna share with you guys a little quick story. Like when I first started, I was like, man, peak season ain't shit. I remember all of the old drivers. This was pre-pandemic, okay? And this was before the mega cycle, all that stuff happened, right? I remember thinking, I'm like, man, peak season ain't shit. I'm about to ram through this route. But guys, you know what? I was in for a rude awakening, okay? And, I would get 300 plus packages, 190 stops every day for the remainder of the peak season, right? And I would start at 7:45, and then I wouldn't finish till like 5:30 till 6 p.m. And after I was done, keep in mind this was my old DSP that I started with, and after I would finish, they'd be like, oh yeah, could you help out so and so with like 30 stops? And I'm like, what the you know what I mean? I couldn't refuse at the time. And that's another reason why I switched DSPs, because after I was done, 90% of the time they would make me assist somebody. Anyways, if you guys want to know why, like how I switched DSP and why I switched it, I actually have a video. It's called How Do I Switch DSPs? Go ahead and check that out. So why did I tell you guys this story is because, I like to think that by me meal prepping and by me having good quality foods, it helped me get through that peak season, right? Because there was long hours, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I worked 10. Sometimes the latest I've gone out was like 12 hours, right? And I'll be getting out like at 8 p.m. And how did I do it? By eating good quality foods, by listening to podcasts or educating myself, right? Things that actually interest me. You might be asking like, William, how do I meal prep? Good question. I actually have a handful of videos on how I meal prep myself and what I meal prep, okay? Go ahead and check those out too. Go to my channel, check out my videos. How do I meal prep as a delivery driver? And I make a variety of foods, and I want you guys, to at least try it out. At the end of the day, your health is your wealth. Take care of the body that you're gonna live in, okay? I am at the point of my journey where everything that I consume, I feel it. I feel it throughout my whole body, guys. And you don't have nothing to lose. If anything, it saves you time, right? And you start to feel a little better. And who knows? Maybe you'll lose weight by meal prepping, okay? The third tip that I wanted to share with you guys is, I know this is simple, but this is probably the most important tip of all. To have at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, okay? Now I understand that people have kids, people have pets, and you have to assist to them after your long day at work, right? And I completely understand. But if you could make an effort to have a schedule, right, where you have at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, it is really important for your health. It is really important for your work life, right? Because we're always moving. If you think about it, when you're working, right, you're always steering the steering wheel, or you're picking up a heavy ass package, scanning it, walking to the house, going back to your van. We're physically active throughout the whole day. I personally know how it feels to go on 4 hours of sleep and go to work, right? 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours, 7 hours. And me personally, ideally, I would love to get 8 hours, but sometimes, life happens and I only get 7. But if I'm in between those 7 to 8 hour range, I notice that I perform really good when I'm on the job, when I go to work out, right? There's actually this book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, and I highly recommend you guys Read it. It goes over the importance of sleep and why your body needs to sleep, right? And the power of sleeping, okay? And you know, I highly recommend you guys do this tip because you are going to be working long hours, and sometimes DSPs need their drivers to work 4 days, 5 days, even 6 days, right? I personally worked a 6-day work week in the past, and let me tell you guys something, it is draining, okay? And these 3 tips that I just shared with you guys, hopefully it benefits you guys in your work life, okay? So let me repeat what I just said. The first thing that you want to do, you know, is actually listen to something that's gonna make time fly faster, okay? The second thing is to eat good, nutritious food to give you good quality energy throughout your whole day. And the third thing is to rest, okay? Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and you'll realize how important sleep is for your life, okay? Now, with that being said, I want to leave you with a closing message. You can do anything you put your mind to. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.